Good learning. Yep. Okay, both the rock lights on there. Or you ladies?
You call for official tonight.
Yeah. All day.
I keep that up.
All right, 6:30, we're going to call the meeting to order. Rise for pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right, first up on the agenda this evening, meeting minutes from November 4th, 2025.
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for November 4th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Accepted. All right, do we have any visitors that would like to address the council this evening? Seeing as there's none, we will move on. All right, Katie, looks like we got some ordinance 2025-10, establishing a special non-reverting capital park fund. This is to set up a special fund for the park for donations and such that come in to fund the park and their activities. Are there any further questions on that?
I make a motion we accept ordinance, so gotta suspend. I make a motion to suspend the rules and get it on the first reading.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and vote on ordinance on the first reading. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Rules are suspended.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance -2025-10, establishing a park fund for money and park donations received.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Accepted. You're winning. Okay. Brings us to ordinance 2025-11, authorizing the clerk treasurer to make necessary end of year fund transfers from the balance of 2025. Questions on that?
Suspend the rules, right? I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and pass the ordinance on first reading.
I'll second it.
A motion is second to suspend the rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Suspended.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-11, allowing the clerk treasurer to make end of year transfers.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 7.
Doubles.
Tie.
Neither of you said Jinx, Yo, and Coke, so. Okay, we've got bond renewal for Lisa. And then we've got a change rider for Katie.
I don't think that one has to be approved by council. It's just listen.
I just need to sign the change rider, correct? Or does it need anything?
No, Epic Insurance signed as the POA. And then Lisa's bond, there's a place for all council members to sign.
Your change rider's taken care of. Okay. So this is to get Lisa, her bond for 2026. Same as last year, it looks like, $30,000 bond.
That's it.
Yep.
Making motion, purchase bond for Lisa. $30,000.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Sign. Okay. What's you got, Katie?
We've got the pickleball and basketball proposal from our Yoder. I did talk to Kevin Yoder that provided a proposal from our Yoder Construction. And he did confirm that the price difference from the south corner to the north corner that we were kind of discussing the two options yesterday. He said that this proposal would cover either of those locations. There's not really a big price difference. There's some trees on the north end that would need removed. And then some additional fencing potentially on the south end, but both were pretty minimal costs that kind of balanced each other out.
I don't know how you guys feel. I kind of feel like maybe we should get some public opinion on this. Because there's 3 proposed options where to put the pickleball courts. Idea that was discussed last night, we have to remove and replace playground equipment at the park. We put pickleball courts and the basketball up here and built a new playground facility next to the splash pad. This would be easier to light, easier to secure. There's bathrooms, camera systems. It's close to downtown eateries and everywhere. There's lots and lots and lots of parking.
Good. I think get some public input.
Not that I want to throw any negativity into pickleball ideas. And here's one thing that we all need to recognize, only because it happened down in Carmel, Indiana, to where they had pickleball courts in a heavily residential area in a park. And, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars they sunk into these pickleball courts being in Carmel. I can only imagine what the facility probably was. They ended up closing it because of noise pollution. We already have people griping and complaining about everything about noise. You start putting that pickleball in a heavily residential area, and you hear this, especially at nighttime, if it's lit, you're gonna have people in there going, there's too much noise. Not that I want to throw any negative twist into this whole mentality, but it's a reality. It's a real thing. Now there's people complaining about how noisy pickleball is.
Well, we could have the same complaint out there.
We could.
Well,
We could, but the houses aren't near as close to the pickleball courts as what they are here.
But the parking lot's a lot closer.
What's that?
The parking's a lot closer to the houses out there than what it potentially could be here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
throwing that out at you.
absolutely
And,
agree.
you go all in by removing this equipment, moving it someplace else and putting 6 pickleball courts in a heavy residential area. And people calling and complaining about noise would, we need to be prepared for that. And I'm just throwing that other twist into this whole idea of things. Not that I wanted to bring that up, but
That I've heard of the proposal of putting pickleball courts here, so I guess it's just a new idea for me. And I think that would be a big change for a lot of people to kind of process through of moving the playground. Is that something that the park board has discussed at all?
Nope.
Not yet. It's just an option.
Yeah.
It's on the
Just
table.
get public input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It solves the parking problem, it solves the water drainage
I don't
problem.
know how quickly that. And I think we're aiming for 2027 for a new playground. That would probably drag that out quite a bit.
the public opinion is gonna be what of Salting afterwards, what, north or south, is that? Or is it the whole idea of having pickleball courts? What's the goal of getting public opinion here as far
We
as
want to have
to
pickleball.
north or south? Is that what the public
We
opinion?
do have some public opinion in our grant, with that, the requirement to have, support letters.
So you got that, or, because we don't know anything about that.
Yeah, and that's part of the grant process is to, get support letters from the community.
You know, kind of like what you guys have done for me for the grants for ICJI, kind of. you got that.
Yeah, we didn't see any of that though.
Lots of people, and I hear it.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So if I want to voice my public opinion, should be in a letter rather than.
No, you can voice it here.
I mean, we're talking about it now.
Yeah, as soon as you mentioned putting it where the park is now, my first thought was not the noise, which is a good point. But mine is more, the park is used by kids and that's centrally located where parents can, more parents can walk their kids to the park. If you put it up there, it's not as easily accessible. The park is not as easily accessible to as many families.
Especially for little.
Well, then why did we put the splash pad up? I'm just being devil's advocate.
No, you're absolutely right. You were
Because not
absolutely
many
right.
people use the
Why?
splash pad.
Why was that?
I can attest to that. I walk a lot in town. And I see so many kids at the park that I do at the splash pad any day. And so
I think more kids utilize the park than they do the splash pad, I don't know why, but I think they do. And it may be the location, I don't know, but that's just my opinion is that the park is more centrally located for more families to take their kids. And I think that space is being centrally located, the idea would be to use it for as many people as possible.
When we first started, considering pickleball, Rob and I actually walked out at town park and measured either behind the quilt garden or in between, like the restroom and cabin area. And at that time, we were thinking maybe just a couple courts.
That was also with still having the playground there.
and a basketball court, yes, it's still having the playground there. We gave that actually quite a bit of consideration, not quite a year ago, 9 months ago, maybe, when we first started. And I guess through that process, we kind of eliminated, maybe that wouldn't be the best place for it. And we want to have the opportunity to bring more people here and have tournaments. And I guess through that process
Well,
and talking to lots of different people,
With the downscaled play set at the Uptown Park and the same size facility that we're talking about for pickleball, more people would use it because you've got more access to parking and local shopping. All the businesses would love it.
I think parking and walkability is beneficial to both pickleball and to the playground. But I guess just initially thinking, I don't know, I almost would say you want that more so for the playground and littles walking there and.
Well, I know what I see on a daily basis, and I'm sure Tim sees it. I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, Katie.
Go ahead. Well, I'm just thinking like kids
Well-
that ride their bikes to the park as opposed to riding all the way to Memorial Park.
I know throughout any given day when it's really, really super nice out, the activity at the park is just, it's really heavy. It's insane. I mean, moms with strollers, they're going down there on the regular. That's not to say that they wouldn't necessarily do that at Memorial, but I do see it as being more of a challenge. I'm just wondering what kind of pushback you would receive if we did put out a poll for public opinion, and what the park board itself would think about changing what has been a staple of our community for a long time. I think if it's something that you want to consider more, you definitely need to put out public opinion. I think you would get a lot more pushback than you realize. I think you'd get a lot of pushback. It's
Would there
like,
be lights for the pickleball and basketball court at nighttime?
I would assume so.
I see that being a problem in addition to noise pollution, the light pollution to the homes right in that area.
Well, that's where you put lights on a timer and there's a curfew, right?
There's a curfew. You'd have to set a
You'd have to set a
curfew.
curfew.
You'd have to set a curfew to any pickleball activity, to kind of like the parks have curfew set. You wouldn't want the kids out there at 1 o'clock in the morning beating.
But it's not uncommon to see moms and their kids, especially stop at either what was cooked, some blue corn slice, coffee. They go down. I mean, it's a real easy jaunt. They go down, they sit at the picnic table, their kids play, and then
That's
they
a
go.
church that comes and does the lunch and kids walk to that every day. Also.
That's true. It's just, I think you definitely, if it's something that, if you want to go step 2 on that, I think you definitely want to put out for public opinion. I think it'll be interesting to see how many people would respond favorably or negatively. I think we're opposed, we seem to be, most small communities are diametrically opposed to change. I think this would be met with a significant amount of resistance, but you never know. I mean,
Unless the concept is, excuse me, Ron, unless the concept is to have both.
And that's kind of the thought is
If that
is
be-
the size that spell out in this would fit there with the downscale play set, so you still have everything that you wanted there. And we could do a larger, grander one for the Kids Kingdom size that we have now, out where we've created this massive facility with a splash pad, a walking course, and disc golf. And then it's all that type of geared stuff up there. Got a splash pad, so you got wet play and dry play. And we'd have more access to the pickleball here with our large parking lot. And it'd be easier to light, easier to secure, easier to keep an eye on.
The other thing too is, we're talking about Memorial Park and what Memorial Park's supposed to mean, but you also have to remember what that playground was set up for. The passing of, to vital people of Walker's, Indiana, where there may be all sorts of emotional game playing that by saying, hey, we're gonna change.
We have to replace it anyway.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
the whole point.
Yeah, I understand that.
Is we all know what it is, but that structure can't last forever.
And it's deteriorating as we speak.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
rapid.
And personally, I would like to see, some sort of basement pole or something, and mainly the two spots out at Memorial Park, and we can throw the third one in and see what people have to say. I mean, they're gonna voice their opinion. And I'd like to meet with the park board too.
If you do this, one, I would really say, hey, we're not eliminating playground equipment.
Yeah.
We're just gonna, shorten it and then eventually put a new one out there. Because again, I think if you totally eliminate it, you're gonna have a lot of people that walk up there with their children.
Yeah, and that's not the intention. We've got one shot to do this. So
Right.
let's try to take the best shot we can, right?
I like the idea of the football and basketball and upgraded park and everything. I'm just trying to think of, someone obviously that has been here since I was 10, like Rob said, people fear that might change, and that would definitely, I think that would be a big change for them to process, whether it's a good one or not. I just would just definitely anticipate a lot of pushback changing that part. So I think it's more in the word, I think it's more in the way you present it that's gonna make the difference.
It's changing regardless because the place that's on its last leg, if not already fallen down.
I'm surprised it hasn't. I grew up every summer. I grew up playing there because we would come visit every year. And I remember playing up and down from a little kid, so I still do. 17.
So
I'm
what would be
a
the best
child.
way to do this? Do we take two of us, put them with the park board, and Katie and Rob, and what do we do to put together a plan? I mean,
Well, I think
something, you think, to put it together?
maybe we do a town hall.
Another meeting?
I mean, I think if you've got enough, which it sounds like there's a bunch of people interested in pickleball, I still don't understand it, but that's okay. It's
Larger ping pong.
okay.
Smaller tennis.
I do that, but anyway, the way it sounds, we've got enough people that are interested in, get their input and, they will tell us which direction they want to go.
We want to do it. We just want to do it right.
Yeah. Is there a way, how big is the proposed basketball and pickleball court? Like, is there a way if we would potentially downsize the park in town, is there a way we also downsize the potential basketball courts or reduce the number of courts a little bit too, to make both of them fit in that location? A little bit of compromise here, a little bit of compromise there.
75 foot by 260 feet. Now with snow and everything, I drove around it, but I didn't get out and walk through it and try to step it off. But there's definitely,
Yeah, if you were looking at that space out there, it might change. You might go 3, 2 sections of 3, depending on how, my understanding is you want them to be oriented lengthwise, north and south, correct?
Both those you're not looking.
So they would be oriented, parallel to Elkhart Street, on that property, but you would, I don't know that you could put 6 out there and still accommodate a basketball court and, a downsized
I
park.
think you'd have to remove some trees.
Or you could definitely have to remove some trees.
or maybe the basketball court's adjacent behind the quilt garden where we were trying to figure out what to do with the grass space.
Would this change also include when, relocating the town cabin, or because of Ducks Pavilion just not even, or would the cabin not even have to, I would think that would have to be taken down too, wouldn't it?
Hmm.
Oh, it wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
I like the idea of just putting it all right in town. It makes sense.
Space becomes a consideration.
And I get it.
It's worth exploring.
If at this juncture, it all is. I mean, if we want to come up with the best plan moving forward, then I would agree, so maybe a town hall, some kind of a public meeting where people can express their, they'll make it abundantly clear. I'm not I'm not concerned at all about people from Walker Roost being a bit sheepish, in terms of what they would like to see happen, but yeah, just worth it.
But in discussion, it's be out of bounds here, but in discussions, the whole idea of locking down the proposal of the monies that our Yoder is saying, hey, yeah, subject to change, it's gonna be this amount of money for us to do it someplace. I think this is what they're looking for, is to be able to say, yeah, now let's lock it in and let's start evaluating. Is it gonna be more? Is it gonna be less? Is it gonna be more or less, north or south? What is the proposal? Do we want to lock that proposal in? We're not committing to it. We're just saying, we're locking it in. Let's see if we can get to that number, kind of like the police department was when it was being built. Let's lock it in, get it to as close as this number as we possibly can, knowing and understanding that it might be over, it might be under.
Well,
But
this
let's get
is
it to this.
signing approval to proceed. I mean, is what we would be signing, approval to proceed. That's nice for me.
I'd just like to make a quick note and point out, the hard thing is, hopefully pickleball won't be a fad, but it is very trendy right now. And I will say in Napanee, the skate park was there for 30 some years because back when they built it, it was a trend. And now it has been bulldozed and turned into a pickleball court. And so I think I know everybody is in a very hot debate about where to put this, but it has potential to significantly change and impact our town for decades to come. So I think that's definitely a super important consideration. Memorial Park, people have already spent 20 some years of their own personal money, fundraising, getting that park to look as beautiful as it is. I think we need to take that in consideration before we start cutting down trees, digging up, ground of how do we want our town to look for the next, 30 some years, especially over something that may or may not be a fad right now.
How's the town hall meeting work? Okay.
Well, we just announced that we're having a town hall. We have to, pretty much just like a town meeting, 48 hours at least in advance notice.
We did a town hall meeting for traffic, or the speed change.
Did that take place in this building? or-
Yeah.
Docs?
And we, with as many people that might show up for something like
It
this.
could be at a different facility.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Charlie, is there a way on this? It's for us to say, yeah, we want to do this, we just don't know where.
I spoke to Kevin today and he's okay if we change the location.
But that was solely talking about out there yet too. That wasn't even brought up about out here.
I didn't know about that till today. I think this has been prior.
I think in terms of, depending on site prep. Proposals out there, there's only one proposal out there that's shovel ready, but Charlie's even mentioned some concerns regarding the agreement and so on and so forth, and I think in that school, with the school, that would definitely need to be more closely looked at and make sure that it's good for the town to move forward on that proposal. That's the only proposal that's really shovel ready. If you go to the north side, that's not shovel ready. This clearly isn't shovel ready. So there'd be more money involved with the latter two. But clearly that, I'm really just concerned about the notion of if we would move forward, suddenly that park everything would change dramatically there. So what it does is it lends credence to the idea of a town hall meeting. I think you want to do that a little bit. And clearly you need to get the park board more heavily involved with all of this. That's why this discussion is taking place, so.
That idea is so new. Is that something that we really do want to consider and pursue and have a public meeting on?
I feel like we owe it we've had, in the short amount of time that we've sat here, there's been from the three people here, different things that have came out in the same conversation.
It's just a little frustrating. 8, 9 months ago, when we started talking about this, I guess what's going through my head, like, what's this mean for our grants and the budget money from the trustee, I don't know.
We don't have a grant yet, right? We don't officially have a grant yet?
Not officially, because project's not where you can. We don't know when it's gonna happen. So it's just kind of been put on hold, all these hours and hours of work put into it. Getting school on board and.
Well, and I think part of it was lack of communication with everybody here.
It's just,
And I do, it was just,
there's just a lot of behind the scene aspects that are kind of going through my head.
There has been an enormous amount of time and research invested in, so I understand frustration.
I'm not opposed to it. It's just kind of like, well, why now? Why not 8 months ago?
I didn't even know about it 8 months ago.
Well, that's when we first brought it to you.
You brought it to us 8 months ago?
Yes, and said, here's what we're thinking. Would the council be okay if we pursued this idea?
On the school property, and because we were talking down here,
Yeah.
we were talking over there.
Right.
I mean, it's been lots of places.
Right. It wasn't a Memorial Park at that point.
Mhm.
Next to the tennis court or different places by the town park.
You remember what meeting that was? To,
I believe April.
May I ask, does this all have to go together? Is there a reason why, like, the basketball courts that are already kind of existing at the Uptown Park, why that cannot be added there? And then, I know like the tennis courts are part of the school, but since we have considered a space that was gonna share school property anyway, is there not an agreement where that could possibly be reached of like tennis courts and having some pickleball courts added on to that and redoing it? Does it all have to go together?
Historically, the school has not wanted them to be here,
Okay,
to be able to have that land for football practices and different things that they
Got it.
have out there.
This one down here, I'm not in favor of putting any more money in it.
okay.
It does not have a good base in it.
Well, that sits squarely on school property.
Yes.
That is not town property.
I know Rocco asked that question. I'm gonna ask it again. Is there any way we can kind of lock our Yoder in? But, to try to determine where we want to put it. And we know there's gonna be some extra costs if we decide to go down here.
you asking me as far as
Yeah.
the proposal goes, well,
You had said that there was some potential further questions on the school agreement.
yeah.
To go with that one regardless.
Yes. So on this proposal, I guess I'm not quite sure that it's got section 3 that talks about it's a budget proposal. The final price will be confirmed after the grants received, if drawings are complete. It also says the cost of assumed this project will run simultaneously with the water treatment project. So depending on the timing, I guess I don't know.
So they're saying that they're already mobilized and have crews in town is what they're laying out in that one.
Right, but if the timing of it doesn't coincide with the water treatment project, their involvement in that.
In which that's gonna be all next year, so that's.
Well, and Kevin gave you that assurance today, didn't
Their original proposal was with a start date of October for the project to be started. His proposal might have carried that same information over. Even though this proposal's for spring. of 2026.
I mean, I guess you could. I don't necessarily know what a budget proposal is. As far as like, well, this is what we think it's gonna cost, but we've got to, confirm the pricing and the drawings and, we don't have any idea whether these costs would be the same if it ended up being located here in town. Yeah, I guess I don't know how you approve this thing to lock in our Yoder, but you have the flexibility to move it around and potentially change the design depending on where it goes. But I guess you could.
We could have a town hall, and if we have to have a special meeting to come back together for the first of the year on this, we could do that, right?
Yeah, or you could approve it subject to. I'm just trying to think of a way to kind of be able to come back and modify the cost depending upon the location.
Well,
Until it starts, we're still not gonna qualify for any grants, that's what you're saying, right? So there's no reason to even, I mean, the 5% or
We'll
whatever.
do
it is.
grants before the project starts. Without locking down where we decide to place it, it's hard for our Yoder to lock down these final details and costs. Community Foundation doesn't want us to apply until we have more details confirmed as well.
Michelle, you still have more questions and concerns on the agreement with the school, correct?
Correct.
So we wouldn't want to agree
No.
to doing this without having that solidified in.
What concerns do we have with that agreement? I've not heard those either.
That, you just said it a little while ago, that's where I heard it.
So there's a term in the agreement. So I don't know, it's blanks, but I don't know why we would have it, we would agree to a term in the agreement where it doesn't get renewed or, I mean, there's some renewal provisions in there too about a certain number of years renewal, but like, why wouldn't it be perpetual? Like, you can't have a term in there if we're gonna spend $300,000 on a facility that has not a permanent agreement.
Sure.
It says that it says the school will, in section 3, it says the school will allow public access mutually agreeable to the party so long as it doesn't interfere with the school activities. Because as you look at the location, I don't know how it would affect the school activities in that southwest corner. Then it also says the town isn't going to permit any installations or alterations to the facility without the prior written consent of the school, including, I don't have that written down in front of me, but like banners and scoreboards. So, I don't know why. Not sure why.
Also, if you wanted to host a tournament, you couldn't put a big banner up. without their permission, right?
Right.
Or use their parking
Right.
without their permission.
Which is a concern.
That I see as problematic.
Yeah, are we contemplating using the school's parking?
We'd have to, there's 14 parking spots back there.
I don't think that agreement contemplates parking. And I wasn't really thinking about that either, honestly, looking at that agreement. I was just thinking of, it's gonna overlap the boundary.
It says in the agreement during officiating of school hours, right? Not of summertime accessibility. Because everybody accesses that parking lot in the summertime.
Well, I don't think the agreement says anything about parking.
That'll say it. Section 3, it says that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to leave anything to assumption on it, right?
No, it says the city will provide parking for users of pickleball and basketball courts at Memorial Park. Doesn't say that. I don't think it says anything in there about.
Would have some parts, but if you have a tournament for the summer, then we. There's it's in real strength.
Section 3, it talks about the parking lot. A little bit, but it's designated parking by the school. With the access.
There's obviously some more things that we need to iron out on this. Let's figure out town hall. I know it's holiday season, but let's try to get one announced quickly and spread out. And I'll talk about it. That gives Charlie a little bit more time to look at this agreement. Is there still questions that need answered there? Maybe there's a way that we measure this and fit this to where it's our property.
How far does it overlap?
That's, we have
To be
it.
determined.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a foot or if it's 10 feet or 15. And it's tried to do a little bit of research to determine where that line actually is and short of having somebody come out and survey it for hopefully no cheap amount of money. But that would need to happen.
Talk to JPR.
There's Spike out there.
Might be.
Well, there, probably is. But you only need that one line.
The
East line.
You would have.
east, you know, whatever that is.
East of our 50 foot was a lot closer than what they said.
Yeah.
One of these lines are sometimes off for two directions, sort of by law it's off.
Good. What we're doing?
Public input and see what's going on.
And present the trip plan, the town hall, we're gonna take open,
Oh, about discussion. We'll
for input.
We'll lay out the proposal of what we have, what we would like to have as far as a facility and the options that we currently know of about where to put this and how to do this and what we'd like to do with the complex and open it up to questions, concerns. Essentially what we did right here with our mini test group. Thank you for being the test group.
Yeah, but now the discussion about the parking lot. That's just it. I didn't know about the school, you know, having to approve parking. If that's gonna be a problem, uptown is more feasible. It may not be as pleasant, but it's more feasible.
Because, and then what if they approve it and then something happens and then they take it back, right?
Yeah. Or if it conflicts with, you know, that conflicting times or something.
Wouldn't we, I mean, play that scenario out, Rocco, wouldn't we want something in writing that ensures that won't happen in the,
That would be that, the school parking lot.
no, that they can't change
That it's not a
their mind and say, oh, psych, we changed our mind.
Well, that's what Charlie's saying about why does this have a term?
Right.
That precisely,
Right.
is there something that,
Mhm.
that we could address that language and say,
No, it just don't have a term.
yeah,
It's just the agreement. I mean, that, have this perpetual agreement for the tennis courts, this agreement.
That just says it loose.
But, I mean, yeah, that's just kind of just there.
yeah, make that go away. Yeah, because I don't know that I would feel, honestly, that scares me because I just,
Charlie, does it feel like it was an agreement they had with the city to have to need to, because it's gotta happen? I mean, like, is it just something they kind of said,
I don't
here's an
know.
example and?
I was trying to think where that would be.
Right.
Where that would overlap with the city and any of the schools. I don't know if it's where Navy Elementary School is and the Boys and Girls Club is, I don't know if that's all. Whether, yeah, I don't know.
Is this the town and the soccer complex reversed?
Yeah, if that, yeah, maybe I put soccer. I don't know how that all could play out with my different stuff. Yeah, I don't know how much thought was put in.
I'd like to say thank you to Katie and Ralph for putting all the work you've done to this. We'll get there. Got to get over a couple of hurdles and figure out where we're gonna go. So thanks again.
One shot to do it right. The best we can. Talk about a date for the meeting. Do we want to talk about a date for the meeting?
yeah, I mean.
Into the 22nd.
I'm thinking early.
Christmas Eve, so.
24th. I mean, 16th, 18th.
16th, 2 weeks away, put it on our Facebook post and all that stuff, Tom.
Available 16.
What's up?
18th.
We were at the meeting Sunday.
18th.
It's a Thursday night. Usually a decent night to have things, or
If we were thinking about having, you know, what is the
what? That was the other thing is
jamboree thing? Is that the third
Oh, it's the first Monday, or
Thursday?
the first Thursday of each month.
First Thursday, okay.
Yeah, that's on Thursday.
Well, we're doing it at Docs.
I think you should. I think you'll have enough people here.
I think it might be a good idea.
Are you pulling it up? Can you see if it's?
Yeah, it's not available the 18th. It's very booked, the whole month of December.
Yeah.
You're probably gotta go into January if you're gonna have the Docs.
Let's get here.
Hmm.
Just do it here.
take a number, come in and state your piece and go back out.
We'll go, we had, I mean, how did, we had a pretty full house for that.
Not any bigger.
I don't think it was over 100. For the speed change.
Chairs.
Probably 70.
There any open dates in the summer?
For Doc's Pavilion. The 23rd, the 25th,
Well,
the 29th, and the 30th.
Monday to 15th.
I don't think you want it the 23rd or 25th.
No.
That
We just
means
do it for the
29th
January
and
meeting.
30th.
Start getting the word out. I'm on the admins, I'm in Anthony Walker's friends group, so I can make sure. Post it there too.
or do we just do it at the January meeting? And get the word out now, and several times between now and then, and plan on the January meeting, we're gonna have an open discussion on this.
And have it here.
Yes. Well, if I have to, right? Well, no, that's not that it says we can't have a meeting somewhere else, right, Charlie? We just have to record it. We just have to wheel your little buggy down there. We're advertising the meeting anyway, right?
That's what we had at Doc's.
Yeah.
They supposed to, yeah, we advertised for the silent doors, hey, walk down the block.
Oh.
It's not like they're having it, no.
There's Wi-Fi works down there, right? So this will work. Good. We could take the show on the Slight Hill Road.
The road show.
And just hope that enough people show up that it wants to move. What do you think of that? Well, we could have the open discussion on it Monday. Yeah.
How many should be approved?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be 6:30. Everything would be the same. Just the thing would be different.
Should we do the article before that though? Well, right now they don't have one planned this month because they usually meet the last Monday of the month. I mean, you could just send them all an email and tell them, hey, this is what's going on, and just have your internal discussion on it. And on plan on getting that meeting.
Unless you think it's better.
I don't
know what's to
I don't
show
know what's
up.
better with that.
Ask them.
Yeah, I'll do that. To do,
I don't mind.
I'll do that. The last one today. They may plan a meeting between now and Christmas, but not the normal date because of Christmas. Trying to finalize, we'd like to put off for next year. So,
Okay. Good.
okay, would that meeting be an open to the public meeting, or would that be like an exec with the park board?
All meetings.
No.
That would be, okay, I didn't know if it was an exec meeting, that's all that's.
Well, if there's only two of us.
But, you know, they would have, okay, they would have,
We would have to post a notice for both park board and.
if everybody attends,
Just,
right?
yeah, if there's just two of us, it could be just the front board.
Okay. Sounds good. I will check out with them tonight, let you guys know. They do tomorrow.
Okay, good. All right. Anything else, Kate?
Everything.
All right. Alex is not here. JPR, we went over their report last night. Anybody have any further questions on the JPR report? Okay, brings us to DLZ.
Alex would, like the council's approval for permission to proceed with the lagoon and the booster station projects it'll be funded by the RDC and the leftover money from the water treatment.
For the first phase.
Yes.
Yep, let's move that up. Just put it in here, it's not official.
I did not do that, so. You know, like I just, I was there.
No, actually,
No.
it's not back in here.
Not the same as report.
Right. Was there something with it in the GFI?
Would you like that dollar amount that you're looking for?
Something more to say than booster project.
So the RCD has approved $846,500 for the 2026 proposed repairs to the lagoons.
Do we need to say lagoon phase one? Or,
At the very top of his monthly report. Wouldn't hurt to say phase one.
so we can start the for that? Okay, I'm asking for, approval to utilize the funds from the RDC, in the amount of $846,500 for the 2026 proposed repairs to the lagoon phase one and the booster station from the RDC.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Vote. You can proceed. Okay. While we're on the topic of water, DLZ payout number 15, the amount of $39,087.50. So activity completed from 10/18 through 11/14 on the water treatment facility.
That in another folder besides the only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couple there, there's a couple.
I make a motion to accept the water treatment plant DLZ pay at 115 for 39,087.50 for 10/18/25 to 11/14.
That, a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. And then also on the water treatment facility, our Yoder pay application number 13. $640,768.82.
Make a motion to approve water treatment plant RO pay app number 13 in the amount of $640,716.82.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah. Okay, and then to another type of water, Keystone Lift Station. DLZ pay application number 16. Services rendered from 10/18 to 11/14. Amount of $5,790.
I make a motion that we approve pay app number 16 to DLZ for the lift station in the amount of $5,790 from
Second that.
10/18 to 11/14.
I'll second that.
Have a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah. And then Keystone Lift Station, Reith and Riley's portion. Services rendered for the same time. Pay application number 5. $56,165.47.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the Ethan Riley pay out $56,165.47.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Okay. Brings us to our Schwarzberger.
I have submitted a letter for the request of the second installment for the reserves clothing allowance pay forward. December the 1st, made the date of that request in the amount of $600 to go to each reserve: Craig Brubaker, Ken Moles, Silas Grossman, Brian Gonzalez, and Kyle McCullough. Second and final $600 payout for clothing allowance for the guys. The amount of $3,000 total.
I make a motion that we approve that clothing allowance for our reserves, who we appreciate very much, in the amount of $3,000, $600.
Second that.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Release the funds.
Thank you very much. That's all I got.
You already covered Alex's portion. Rob, you're up.
Not too much to talk about, other than what I mentioned last night. There are some exciting things, hopefully, as we move forward with some of the areas of concern in downtown. We've got some movement on Birds of a Feather, some efforts that Brock has been putting forth. We actually had someone who was very, very interested in that, and they determined that it wouldn't suit, but evidently there's another potential business coming in there. I feel like we're making some headway with the property across the street. Probably this next week or the week following, I'm going to actually reach out to the owner and see if we can at least establish some kind of dialogue about the building and the fact that it's sat empty forever. And we need to do something about that. Probably going to have more dialogue with you, Charlie, regarding what can we legally do to possibly put some more teeth to ordinances that already are in existence, give us a little more, I guess, strength, if you will, a stronger bite in terms of getting some kind of forward movement. Recent conversation with Anthony Harris, regarding, the former Cook's Pizza. They're making some headway there. They do anticipate they're gonna open, sometime late December or sometime early January. Looking forward to that. I'm excited for them. A little concerned about the fact that it's been closed as long as it has been closed, but I'm confident they're gonna put their best foot forward. I think you're gonna see that the Roost is gonna be open, in a couple short weeks. I think they've got to finish up some permitting issues that they've had, and they're working on making some final installation with some of the kitchen equipment. So that's exciting. Getting some forward movement on other properties that have fallen into tremendous disrepair, especially along our gateway along Walliford Street. Been speaking with the executors of said estates, have been talking to their attorneys, and I feel like we're making some headway there. So that encourages me. And I'm realizing that it all takes time and it all takes a lot of conversation. I feel like to a certain extent, I think the county sometimes ignores me anymore because I've become that dripping faucet. And I put out requests and I don't get a lot of response from them. But I think we're still making headway there. It's just slowed a bit. I do want to bring up the point that Alex and I both brought up yesterday about the right-of-way application process. I think it's important that we investigate that further and we develop some kind of a way in moving forward where not just anybody can come in and pull their boring equipment into our right-of-way and start boring. I got here earlier tonight, and Rocco was already here and had a customer, a resident complaining about the fact that Frontier was yet in town again, soliciting without permission. And they were literally told straight to their face a bull-faced lie, saying that no, they have permission, actually the blessing of town hall to go and be solicited on their private property. So I don't know what we can do in moving forward, but I'm sure we're going to come up with some kind of a plan that gives us a little more teeth with that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's all going to fall on your desk.
That's what he said.
But
They're calling you guys.
It was called both, to be fair. She called both, to be fair.
yeah, I got a phone call. But anyway, I mentioned last night, in last night's meeting, that it was concerning to me that I'm standing in my living room, I'm looking across the street on a Sunday night at 6:30 when two people pull up to Rich's house, or they walk up with trench coats and masks, and they're trying to solicit. I don't know if it was Frontier or whomever, but on a Sunday night at 6:30, it's dark outside. That we just need to do something as we move forward to make it much more difficult for them to do so, if not impossible, and just against the rules, especially on a weekend, Sunday night at the 6:30. It's crazy, but so I do know that we're going to see some more action on that initiative as we move forward as well, because it was very unnerving, I should say, to say that, to hear them say, oh yeah, the guy at town hall said we can come and talk to you. So anyway, I'm encouraged that we're on the right track and chasing some of this stuff down. So beyond that, just back to the grindstone. I have not yet heard back from, by the way, I have not heard back yet from Gordon regarding this recycle. For the second, third, or fourth time now since. Yeah, it just goes on. So anyway, back to the grindstone tomorrow morning, but that's all I have. Our Christmas tree looks great. Hats off to our public works crew to make that happen. I've got video. I really need to send you all the video. It's.
Thank you to the Risser family for the donation.
Yes, Mr. Risser, wonderful family. If you don't know them, they're wonderful, wonderful people that are on Road 7. So they've got a tree for us next year as well. Not as pretty as that.
Thanks to the volunteer firemen and all those.
Volunteer firemen, we've had them pizza last night. Cam's crew is always just so stellar in their efforts at doing that. They, not an easy task putting that through that material. They actually had a crane here last night, but we'll see. But yeah, great. You know, we've got an amazing police department. We've got amazing public works people. Hats off to them for the work they've done at keeping our streets clean. I do know that some of those drivers were in trucks for 9, 10, 11 hours at a time, plowing and spreading salt. So they're doing an incredible job. So love those guys. Very proud of them.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Rob. Carl?
I don't have any.
Annette?
I do have one.
Randall?
I will reach out to the park board and let you guys know when your next meeting's gonna be. So they had, last week they were still trying to figure out dates, so I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Small town Noel, Christmas tree lighting, Friday, Christmas craft bazaar Saturday. Go to town. Enjoy it. It's gonna be another happening time in the big old bird. Well, and if I don't see any of you between now and then, everyone have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well, should be able to confirm that you did run them out just a little while ago, which.
Ran out of the park here last week too.
And that was after they had been down the lane.
Yeah.
And ran from there, and then they just went out on Waterford after that.
Give it a shake, give it a put them. Ordinances to come.
If getting a hold of corporate office would be easy.
I did it. I did get a hold of them and they supposed to put us on the no anything list. Yeah, here we are again.
I make a motion that we pay the claims to the first meeting.
A motion and a second to pay the claims and adjourn the meeting. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes. Next meeting, January 6th. 6:30 work session, January 5th, 6:30, tentatively at Doc's Pavilion. See what the feedback is and if we can gauge how much attendance there's going to be, but plan on it being there. Meeting adjourned. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.
So you go to that.
More.